just you took on this giant monster and like, man, you wrestled it. Like I just couldn't believe that it went so smoothly.
I didn't expect this, like what we have in front of us, and like how you guys have managed to just put it all together.
When you start creating something, if you don't believe it's going to go far, if you don't perceive that, then you can't expect anyone else to even believe a fraction of that.
Recently, we sat down with the cast of Melvin and asked them questions about the series, ranging from on-set tales to their reactions, with commentary from co-directors Joel Bringolf and myself. There are chapter markers in the description if you'd like to skip through the Zoom call. Otherwise, sit back, relax, and enjoy a look behind the curtain of Melvin.
Oh, it was awesome. Are you kidding me? It's a full show. Like there's no, I don't know. I feel like every time I show my family, like, hey, look, I did this thing. There's like a level of cringe of like, this is not good. Like there's no like pieces of it that you're just like, the audio is weird, or this scene's kind of weird. Yeah. This one actor is like horrible, or like something in it is just like horribly awry. And this is bulletproof. Like this is like television quality show. Like all the work you put in, and like I saw most of it when I came to do the like ADR stuff. And it was really good. It was super well polished, but just the little touches that I kind of noticed that were like just small changes. Just like, I don't know. I felt like it was just, it's so professional looking.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. I've still got a list of like 4 or 5 different little things I want to go back and do, but I'm like, at this point, no, I'm done. Seriously, I've probably put like well over 1,000 hours into the edit on those 6 episodes.
I believe it. I believe it.
I can tell it's phenomenal.
What was like the most like difficult scene to like edit? Was there like any of them that you're like, this was the one that was like?
I would say probably the scene we added, the Princess Bride stuff, because we didn't really shot list that much or even slate most of it, and we did like so much improv, so I felt like I had to really learn the footage before. Okay. So like I watched every take so many times to try to figure out like what the best ones were, because there's so many different funny parts. And then just trying to fit in all the little like dumb stuff that was unscripted too, like throughout the series, not just
dude,
because there are so many little moments I loved.
Can I ask you about so how much footage did you have of Tommy and Dan of the day of kind of the escapades they had of the kayak on the because those were so I want to
yeah, that's right, you weren't there, were you?
Yeah, I wasn't there. God,
I can throw together a supercut of that for you sometime.
Right.
Yeah, I'd love to see whatever else there is of that, because that was awesome.
That came out really funny.
Yeah, we did that. That whole thing was like all for the photos, but since Drew and Ethel were handling all the pictures, because we put them in the office at Pizza Nibblers, I just had the camera with me that day, and I'm like, I'm just gonna film it too.
What scene are you like the most proud of? Like the one that came out and you're just like, damn, this one was to me like just the best.
In the final cut, as a director, not an actor, the scene I think probably that I wasn't anticipating to come out as the best, but when I watched it, I was like, wow, that was just so cool. Had to be that wizard scene, and I know we all felt it that day. Like we had a little meeting beforehand. It was pouring rain. We're like, we can stop tonight, or we could keep going. We could do this tomorrow, or keep going. And all of us kind of looked at each other, already in the mud. We're like, let's do it.
We're wet already.
Yeah, and I mean, from hearing it in everyone's voice, like everyone just gets even more hoarse and whatnot. Like I knew it was going to be good, but then looking at the footage and how Joel put it together, it's just amazing. Like he has described to me how even like the blue lighting in the car, how there's absolutely no like reason it should be in there, and the only other time we have like unrealistic lighting is in like Deb's house when Louise and Melvin are high, or when she goes into her little like CSI Miami thing, or in the bathroom. But I thought that was such a cool moment. And I know it's so small and everything, but the way the rain was, and there's the rain on the lens and the lighting and just everyone's performances, I think that it's like great for as actors demo scenes, but B, as a showcase of like the determination and strength of like filming that scene and being in that cold, and then not only like persevering, but it being totally worth it afterward too.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with that. Because like I'm trying to think like my headspace during when we were shooting that, and honestly, I was most worried about making sure that the camera was gonna be okay in the rain, and so that we could use it the next morning. So like I was hardly paying attention to like how you guys were playing off each other, and so I didn't sleep that night. I cut that scene together because I just had to know if it worked or not. And like when I got it into the editor and everything, I was like, oh my gosh, the way all three of you played off of each other was just unbelievable.
I remember watching that the next day and like his immediate gratification of like, okay, cool, that was great. That worked really, really well. So I appreciate you doing that. Sorry you didn't get any sleep that night. Long weekend,
no, I had to do it. I wouldn't have slept either way. The other one I thought of was just really anything in Harold's office, because like I think both Ethel and I, once that set was built, it was like we didn't even have to shoot anything in it, and the gratification was already there because we had spent so much time like getting all this stupid stuff to put in there, and Ethel making all the stickers, and so just building that set was so fun.
And you know, those little details, those really add up, like the posters you guys made.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Pizza Nibblers outfits. Oh man,
Calzone Boy went viral, by the way. Like of everyone who like pretty much everyone who I like, you know, talk to, friends, family, they all mention Calzone Boy.
That's perfect. Yeah, we had a few people mention that too in the super early screenings, just to see if like the story made sense and whatnot. And they're like, we need more Calzone Boy. might have to bring him back as a little more of a role.
I think my favorite like moment of the show, I think the one that gets the biggest laugh is probably the big reveal in Harold's office, and like just that whole scene I think is so funny. But as soon as he's like, you know, the interview's going like terribly or whatever, and he's like, it's awkward and it's kind of what you'd expect. And then just as soon as he gets on the phone, he starts to just like realize everything. I think that was the biggest laugh, man. That had me cracking up so hard.
It's so good.
Yeah, I liked it so much.
Tommy, how did you feel about those Pizza Nibbler scenes?
Oh, those were my favorite. And I'm super biased, but it was so much fun, and it was so funny to watch. Like I felt like Shaun killed it. I felt like I did a good job, and just everybody, you did a great job too when you were in there.
Oh, thanks.
You were okay, you know, for your very small role. We all worked together like super well, and it was very funny, and like just the way Joel cut and edited it really made that scene hilarious. Like I really enjoyed it.
So perfect. Just the pacing of it too was just so perfect. And then we get back into the room, right, in episode 5, right? We get back into it with obviously with Ella Louise when she comes in and she's fighting. But that shot was so good behind the back text.
Yeah, the reason that we ended up having all the pictures in the office is because I wanted to hit Tommy with the breakaway frame. Like that was the catalyst for that whole idea.
I have questions for you all, but before I dive in, do you have any questions for Joel and I, either regarding the future of Melvin or anything at all, just general FAQ?
Let's see how, because I know this last couple of like weeks or so has been spent trying to find Melvin a home. How's that going?
So to get it pitched to like networks or investors, you have to create a pitch deck, which is basically like the resume of the show, including various details from location to synopsis, et cetera, et cetera. And And after creating a pitch deck, then that's really where you can use that to submit to places. So that's the process right now as far as pitching Melvin. On the other hand is writing a full-length season of Melvin, so 22-minute episodes. And I believe 7 episodes, because now subscription based platforms like Netflix, Hulu, they're pretty flexible on how many episodes, but that timing is still pretty nailed in there as far as comedies go. So where I am on that is, I would say I'm at the point where I have like 400 pages written. And so it's like the condensing downside, because that's way too many pages for seven episodes. Sometimes I'm not going to do that math right now.
Joel, what was your biggest like surprise in the editing bay?
Well, I gotta hand it to that camera we used. That footage, like, even my computer's pretty beefy, but with that size of a project, like, I knew it was gonna just take a dump on itself. But it ended up being remarkably easy on my computer. Like the way it's all formatted, I was very happy to find that like I could have an idea and then I could execute it, and I didn't have to wait 10 minutes for it to load. Really fun working with that footage. I've never obviously owned a camera that nice, so
Yeah, I will say that footage looks just so cinematic.
It made all of you guys look so good. Like anywhere I pointed it, I mean the sets and the makeup and the lighting does a lot, but man, it was nice.
It's stunning. Yeah. How I have a question. How like with the editing process, how did you like kind of, I guess, like go about it, like on a, this is like a schedule type question, like would you plan out parts of the times of the day, or like would you just kind of do it like when like inspired? But I know it's so much to do.
Yeah, I definitely worked more on when I had an idea, I would just run and go do it, especially towards the end, because I cut together episode 3 first with Deb, and that was the longest episode. I knew it had like the most variation, so I just wanted to kind of start in the middle and work my way out both directions, just to kind of lock into the pacing of everything and get used to it. Because I feel like if I started on one, I might just be like taking things too slow and not get the comedy quite right, and that ended up helping a lot. Towards the end, I'd be, I don't know, restless in bed, and I'd come up with this like elaborate idea, and I'm like, all right, I guess that's what I'm doing tomorrow. Try it out, send it to Ethel. She says, try something completely different, and then I go do that.
One thing I will say, so I've seen so many drafts of Melvin, and you would think after all those drafts that, Joel couldn't surprise me after a certain point. Like there was no way, like you get to a like ceiling and you stop. No, it didn't. And he made me cry because he sent me the finals. I put that in quotations because we all know how that goes when you put final on something. And I told him like, I'll watch it on Monday. Like I got this busy weekend and whatnot. He didn't say anything. He didn't give me like any information that, like I might have put something in there that you have no idea is going to happen. So I'm watching it, and I'm like, okay, cool. He did something cool at the end credits. We got like Harold and David. Like, that's nice. Like, that was super cool, and everything. And then I get to episode 6 and Melvin's on the gravel, and I hear an audio bite from Louise, and I'm like, is the audio off? And I like rewind. I'm like, what is going on here? I'm like, this, like, I don't even remember this like coverage right here. And then I'm like watching it, and I hear it again, and there's just a moment where he's still on the ground. Nothing else is happening, And I'm like, am I just like hallucinating? Like, is this the end? And then this like eulogy montage plays of like Melvin shivering on the ground, and then like just this very like loving like do you love me? And then it's like Louise, and he's looking at her, and he's like, ugh, like heart eyes, and I just start bawling because I'm like, this is so beautiful and so sad and so like tragic. Like he never said, I love you. And he's had 18 years, to do this, more like 9. And now she's gone. She's Audi 500. And I like rewatched that a couple times. And then I like FaceTimed Hannah, sobbed. Then I sent Shaun a huge text message that I'm sure was very like odd because I didn't say what it was about, but I was like, great acting, sport. Like, I was like, no. And then I yelled at Joel. I was like, how dare you? I was like, that was so good.
I had been cooking that one up and purposefully leaving it out of the last like couple edits for like maybe 2 weeks.
Dang.
Just snuck it in there right at the end. Like, hey, gotcha.
that ending was like that. What I completely understand why, like obviously like it was very emotional for you, because it's like, and like it was emotional too because like it was amazing because it just tied everything so nicely there, like the story and like that little repeat of "Do you love me?" twice. Oh,
yeah, I get the little echo in there.
Yes, heartstrings pulled. Yeah, it really added that like that, oh, we want more, that really drove that home.
I'll ask some questions. We'll do a little like round robin. Tommy, I'll start with you, and then Dan and Shaun just answer the same question. Did you know how large or extensive the project was going to be when you submitted or auditioned? Did you have like the scope in your mind of what you're getting into?
Yeah, I sort of knew what I was getting into, but I think I was like, I don't want to say pleasantly surprised because I knew it was good. Like I wasn't expecting it to like be bad, but like everything was just so well run. It was like, everybody was on a schedule. We kept to the schedule. The sets were great. And yeah, it was just really awesome. And, I think anytime you go on set or do something, the schedule or the timetable is, it's always up in the air. Things go wrong and stuff. And like, I mean, for at least the days that I was there, like everything was exactly when it was supposed to happen, where it was supposed to happen. So it was really awesome.
Yeah, thank you for pointing that out because that's like my biggest thing. We are wrapping on time or early every single day, and we did.
You did awesome. Yeah, it was really great.
So I think the first time you brought up that you were like doing this and that you were possibly trying to like have me like take on a role, I think it was on Lydia and the Creature, right?
Yeah.
I think that was the first time. Yeah, because I got to work with you guys then. And yeah, I just remember from that project alone, I was like, this is super well done as far as like, I loved that set. I just liked the way it was set up, the lighting, and like you guys were able to get everything done. Like there's still some light out and stuff. It was kind of like going down real nice. I was like, these people are on it, like as far as scheduling and stuff. And like, I just thought that was really cool and like easy and a nice little flow. So I was like, okay, cool. Like if we do another project with them, it better be pretty chill, pretty neat. But I had no idea it was going to be like, it was so huge. Like in a way, you took on this giant monster and like, man, you wrestled it. Like I just couldn't believe that it went so smoothly, even though everything was trying to go so wrong all the time. So like the weather, dude, the weather's fighting us, like just all this crazy stuff, and like didn't even freaking waver. Like not even for 1 second was I like, man, they're overwhelmed. Like they just were like, cool, put up a tent, whatever. Like we just get it done. Like I just find a way to work around it. And they just made the freaking best out of it. So I think like the way you guys were able to like persevere through all that craziness, and I just felt like the product did not suffer at all, even though it was a lot of projects I've been on. Usually that tends to be the case. Is like, well, we did what we could kind of thing, and like we just we made what happened with what we had, and I just never felt like that. I was like, no, if anything, you guys took it and like just used it. And then watching it today, like I was able to cast it on the TV, and I was just like, damn, that just belongs on the TV. Like this is huge. My amount of respect for you guys is like hats off, because like There's so much. I mean, every little detail. Even I like the beginning of the edit of like episode 2. There's like a lot of like little snidbits of the flashback and like wonderful little quick cuts in there. And then I liked the like echo of like Melvin being like, "My car's my home" or whatever. Like, I don't know. It just
Oh yeah.
yeah, I mean, it made the last episode just seem so like badass. Like, it was just super cool. But no, when this started, I was like, cool, this would be like a cute short. And then the way you kind of talked about it, you're like, no, this is gonna be like a big show or whatever. And then I just was like, yeah, maybe. And then we showed up and I was like, no, it's there it is. Yeah, it was awesome.
Like, yeah, sure. Whatever you say.
Yeah, it was great.
I knew it was going to be fun, and I knew it was going to be like, I loved the idea that you had, and I loved the sides that you had sent for the audition. I didn't know what it was going to be until we actually started, honestly, until like we started filming. Like, sure, like I know we had the photo like kind of photo shoot ahead of time, but like once we started shooting, that's when I realized this is awesome, you know? And like when we were on set together, like all of us, you know, and like every day that we were on set was just different, right? Like we had the weather conditions, you know, and like, but it didn't matter because like, and that's what it said, right? Like the whole thing of like, are we gonna rally and finish this? And it's like, well, you know, because like you don't know what tomorrow brings, you know, in terms of like, you know, like we could nail this, and like the rain freaking looks awesome. Like, you know, like it looks so good on camera. And like, I think like, I didn't expect the scope of it in terms of, I didn't realize, like, I knew what we could do was special, but like seeing the hard work you, obviously Joel, and what you, Ethel, have put in, and like Drew as well, everyone, you know, everyone, our crew too, you know, I didn't expect this, like what we have in front of us, and like how you guys have managed to just put it all together. It's so cool. And one last thing I'll say is like moments like this are what are so awesome. Like, you know, I'm sure we have big things ahead of us with this, and like, but it's moments like these where it's like the start of it, where like these are such fun moments, these conversations we get to have, because like this is the beginning, you know? So, you know, I wouldn't trade that, you know, for anything.
I mean, just to piggyback on what Joel and Shaun said, I've been writing on the zine, so you'll hear all my word or thoughts or read them in a future zine. But when I wrote Melvin, immediately that first draft, I knew I was in hot water because it was so beautiful in my mind. And then the scary part of creating it and finding the people to fit those roles and filming it became a reality. And I know I've said this a few times, but truly, as like, so when you start creating something, if you don't believe it's going to go far, if you don't perceive that, then you can't expect anyone else to even believe a fraction of that. So I had in my mind, like, it's going to be like this. It's going to be like the visuals of it and the episodes. I saw it all. And so in a different breath, I know for everyone else, it's like, wow, like I didn't imagine like it would be like this. And I'm so happy that it became this. And for me, it's like, I imagined it like this, and it's so fun to see it like this now. Like, it's not just here, it's on your screen and it's on your TV, you know, and it's not done yet, but to see that is beautiful. And you all have been an amazing part of realizing something that was once upon a time a quirky idea only existing in my head. So huge deal. You all are a huge deal to me in that regard. So thank you for that. Kind of if you could go back in time, is there anything you would do differently, whether this is acting wise or choices you made with Melvin? And I want you to know before you answer this question, as a director, I don't look at the footage and be like, wow, you all could have done better. I look at it as, no, I love this. But just out of curiosity, as actors and whatnot, knowing now what you know, would you have gone back and warned your past self, oh, this is going to be like this, you know? Like,
yeah, I wouldn't do anything different. I mean, just like what we were saying in the beginning with the first question, it's just everything was so smooth and seamless, and every moment, I think the best part about it was like every single moment I was having fun And there wasn't like any moment where I was like, oh, I'm tired, or this is taking too long, or like, you know, where's this going? Like every single moment I was paying attention, I was excited to be there, and like I wanted to keep going. I wanted to go all night. But yeah, it was, I can't think of anything that I would change or do differently or anything. I think it was exactly the experience I wanted.
I think there's a couple times I could have pushed the gas a little more on the comedy, in my opinion, like just made it a little more big. And that's obviously, you know, just like actor shit where you're just like, you know, there's little pieces here and there of your performance that you'd always want to kind of adjust or like try to improve. I think the only thing I can really think of is the phone call. I think the phone call could have, again, pushed the gas on it way more. And I know we talked about it a little bit a while ago, but I don't know, watching it again, I just kind of felt like it just felt a little flat. You know, it wasn't quite as I had envisioned it.
Okay, before it goes on to Shaun, I'm surprised neither of you said you would warn yourself about COVID. So I'm judging you right now. You wouldn't warn yourself about the pandemic that was gonna mid-production.
Yeah, that was a little rough.
Yeah, that's right. I would have told myself to buy stock in Charmin and hand sanitizer.
I and like Dan, I know what you're saying about the call. I understand, but like it read awesome to me, you know, like really it did. Because like in that whole sequence, it's a beautiful shot, by the way, Joel. Like when he's holding the phone, it's kind of dark.
Thank you.
Yeah, and it's like it's a dope slide, right? Right after, because you don't know, right, who David's with. You think, oh, he's probably alone, but then it slides over to Deb, right? And so one thing I would just say would like that I would have recommended to myself would just be like, I honestly just like I don't think I took this for granted, but I really think like on those cold days when I was like in my feelings about how cold it was, I almost like I'm sad that part of it's over. Like I really enjoyed filming, and like that's something that we get to film more, hopefully, you know, that then great. But like those initial moments, like we don't get those back, you know? So that is somewhere I would have just probably let it sit in more. Really?
That's really good to hear, Shaun, because I've been watching you in slow motion in the pouring rain with just a light shirt on, and you look so miserable.
No. Hey, after that stuff though, we were indoors the rest of it, you know? It was just
Oh man, that was cold.
It was just that
it turned out great though.
March weekend, yeah.
Oh yeah, I got scared because usually, Shaun, you were like dancing and vibing and like running lines with yourself, and then once we got out there, it was just there was silence. And
yeah, I didn't handle the cold.
Yeah, we got it done. Props to you, definitely.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah,
you do a freaking great job, man. I gotta say, you did so good, Shaun.
Joel, what did you anticipate? Like how, I know you did a little bit of like training with the camera rig, you know, and everything before we started filming. And you know, obviously have your own rig, but was there things you didn't expect when you're out there with the Ursa in like the pouring rain for hours?
I was just thanking God that it was a rental and that I hadn't purchased it with my own money. Because I would have gone home that day if if I had owned that thing.
Like when it comes to casting, it's the director's job, obviously, to find an actor that is the best fit for the role. And we all kind of discussed how we met each other prior. How did you all as actors, though, relate or not relate to your character?
Yeah, so I feel like when I got the script and I was reading for Harold, it's just one of those characters that it's in my wheelhouse. It's like a character I've played before many times, and I feel like I'm fairly good at it. And I kind of knew, you know, I know you so well, and I know our humor. So going into the audition, I kind of knew what I should do, like some of the choices I should make. And I think it was helpful too. I think during the audition, you gave me one note and I was able to adjust. But yeah, it's just one of those characters that I feel like I'm naturally good at playing because it's so much fun for me to play. Because it's really fun being a terrible person. It is. Yeah, so I just felt like I kind of had an idea of what you were looking for with it and like what my take and spin could be on the character. So that's kind of how it was for me.
Dan, what about you? Do you relate at all to David, or was it a little difficult to get into those boots?
I think I understood that he was like an angry guy, which I thought was kind of like maybe like therapeutic to play in a way, which I thought was kind of cool. I also relate with his ability to like try really hard and be like a raging bull to try and get something, but to just suck, just like not get there quite, or like
Aww.
to do it in such a way that you're just like so brash and like it just like kind of screws him over. I think a lot, like especially like the tea scene and stuff, just being like whatever, confidently just running right into a brick wall. So yeah, for all those reasons, I enjoyed playing David quite a bit. Especially, I really liked when his back's against the wall and like the tough guy acts completely like drops because you guys are like, let's kill him. I was just like, I don't know. I liked the idea that even the kind of the tough killer guy thing is like almost a facade in some aspects. And I mean, when I first got the role and you were telling me all the stuff that he was and what I got to do, it just sounds so much fun. Because I was just like, what? I'm going to be like just such a character. So like just a gay serial killer hitchhiker. Sounds like a lot. But it's super fun. Super fun.
Oh gosh. Shaun, what about you? Did you find it easy to relate to Melvin at all, or was it extremely difficult to be that character?
So much of it was easy to relate, just because he's like, I think with Melvin, he's just so ridiculous. Like, I feel like we both have like, sometimes we both have like common sense deficiencies, the both of us. Yeah.
Melvin definitely does.
Melvin, yeah, for sure. I have those too, though. We would just have them about different things, though, Yeah. Like, I feel like I would like to think I would have executed my way if it were me in that situation, Dan, like it was that whole thing, like with, we were struggling and it was where the keys are already in the ignition. I would like to think I handled it better, but who knows, right? I think he's very charming. I think he has a different kind of charm than I do. I mean, whatever, I don't know. I can't speak to charm whatever for myself, but like I think Melvin has charm I don't have. Yeah.
Do you think he could stab a man, Shaun?
Oh, I think Melvin could absolutely stab someone. But
he did.
Like kill them. I think Melvin could kill. I just this took a dark turn, but I think he'd have like he'd hyperventilate so severely. Like he'd probably honestly like go into anaphylactic shock.
The better question is, could David kill? Because he's tried, but So I'll just ask these two because they kind of go hand in hand. Favorite moment on set / behind the scenes secrets to spill. So basically any behind the scenes moments or whatever on set, spill the beans.
I just had a great time. I mean, my favorite moment was acting with Shaun. That was super fun. And God, I really loved I guess I really didn't understand like how you were going to use the like footage and photos of me and Harold and David. It's like we were just screwing around, it felt like, and like I was having so much fun and doing like weird poses with Dan, and like I just thought we were just, I don't know, I didn't really understand. I was like, okay, there's gonna be like 1 or 2 photos, and then just like seeing all the photos in the shot in his office, and then also at the very end, like all the behind the scenes footage of me and Dan doing the photo shoot. That was really funny.
Me dragging you around the kayak is so goddamn funny.
That was like the
funniest part.
perfect visually. Like I just really loved that. That was great.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, there's a little something in there for everybody.
So good. Damn, favorite moment. I guess one that took me by surprise was I'd never really met Hannah. Like I kind of knew because we did the table read and stuff, and like I'd probably seen her like once or twice, but I never got to like hang out with her. So like getting to do the Jeep stuff, like when I was just hauling in on the Jeep, and we had a speaker and we were like blasting awesome music. Like we had to pick which song we liked the best. We were like flying in and stuff. And she was a pro. She would like pause it immediately when I was like get out of the car and all that. And I just made such a good friend that day, dude. I remember me and Hannah, I was like, damn, this might be like one of my favorite days. Because then on top of that, it was just like, I don't know, all the cold, rainy days we had just like built so much camaraderie. I feel like I just had so much fun. Just, I don't know, even like the more miserable the like conditions were, the more like, I don't know, the more just like pumped me up. Like I felt like, yeah, again, there was just like that air of like just persevere, and I really dug that. Yeah, man. Other than that, I just feel like everything went so smooth. I mean, other than obviously the friggin' like 3-month gap.
Yeah,
I think that was one of the harder things.
I know we had built up so much momentum, and it was like, well, here we go.
Favorite memory? So besides like working with Tommy, with Dan, with Hannah, with Ethel, like with you guys, like that, it was so much fun. You know, like that was obviously sure that's a highlight. That's a highlight, right? But then it's also those other moments, like we had, like Joel, Alexis, you both were so generous and bringing us into your home and like having us like cooking for us and like talking and like it was so dope. Like even Dan when you were DJing and like we
yeah
photo shoot, like moments like that were like they were so fun. And like the other one of just kind of when we sat outside and we talked on your porch, it was just so fun. Like that's it's just like we're a family, and like we made memories that just last. And that obviously was stuff technically outside of Melvin, but yeah, that's stuff I'll always remember,
It was on Dan and Shaun, and it was the knife pulling out of the sock scene. And I believe like the notes before was like, Shaun, like go for it with the scream, like just go for it. And I remember we're all quiet and we're filming that, and immediately, and it's the one that's in the take when Shaun, when you do that scream, like, and it echoed through the woods, and all of us crew that had our hands free, like not on objects, we're just covering our mouths to not laugh, because that was just one of the funniest. Like we're so drained, and then to hear that scream echo through the woods. It's probably a hilarious, like one of the most hilarious moments for me.
I guess my last thing, I just want to say, Ethel, I was so stoked watching your episode 3 when you get drugged. I think you did a masterful job of being like high and like also very funny. I feel like it's easy to fall into a lot of tropes, and dude, you played it up so good, and I think that was some of the funniest. I like some of the hardest I laughed as far as just purely based off of just acting alone.
Oh, thank you. That was really fun because it was literally just Drew, Joel, and I. Everyone else was outside, and I had no idea how the camera work was going to be other than it was tracking shot. And then I come in and there's like all these colorful lights everywhere, and it's just like the absolutely most unflattering angles, and I find it so funny, and just like effects like distorting the face. I won't say I rehearsed for that on camera at all.
Yeah, we just kind of went for it. I think we did like 2 takes and we're like, yeah, that's good, we'll go home.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's great.
But thank you. All right, yeah, get people to follow and see to spark everyone. Or else.
Yeah. Props to you guys. We've got a bunch of new followers in the last like week and a half. So doing good work.
Awesome.
Well, thanks for coming, guys, and thanks for being a part of this.
For having
It's really
us.
good to see y'all.
Dude, thanks for doing all the hard part. Like, just got to do the fun part. Thank you.
All get together.
Absolutely.
In the future. It'd be nice to see everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, big time. It was a very special project to me.
Very, very. One of the best, honestly, times I've had in my life. Truly, and I mean that. It's amazing.
Thank you for watching. If you'd like to see more behind the scenes Melvin content, then sign up on our Seed and Spark. You can also find us on Instagram and TikTok at the following usernames. Wherever Joel puts them, that's where they are. Thanks again. I sounded so weird right there, but okay. That's all you get, unless you want more. Tell me if you want more. Tell me if there's more you want. I have this backdrop up so we can do it. I got the lights up. Let me know.